Have you noticed that even after annual increases over the years, your Social Security benefits don't seem to be going as far? Well, unfortunately, that gut feeling you might be having is true. Even as the Social Security office has announced another annual increase for 2024. So in this video, you'll learn how your benefits are losing purchasing power and if this will get worse as a result of Social Security reportedly running out of money after 2033. But you are not out of luck because I'm also going to reveal 3 simple things that successful retirees are doing about this to make sure they have enough income. Hey there, it's Alex, partner and financial advisor here at 1 Degree Advisors, and I'm here to help you gain confidence in your retirement. Now, before we discuss how your Social Security benefits have been losing purchasing power due to inflation, it's critical you understand how Social Security decides to increase benefits over time. Every October, the Social Security Administration calculates how much of an adjustment will be made to Social Security benefits for the following year. For example, the adjustment that will begin in January 24 is calculated in October of 23. What most retirees don't know is that the traditional measure of inflation that you hear on the news is not the same inflation rate used to determine how much Social Security benefits need to go up by. The price index used to determine how much benefits need to go up by is called the CPI-W. And without getting into technicalities, there can be some drawbacks to using this metric since the CPI-W excludes common expenditures of older adults, such as Medicare Part B and Part D premiums. But the index methodology is only one part of the issue. The other is the timing of when increases take effect. The problem is that increases to Social Security are paid in the following year after you experience inflation in the current year. Social Security compares the average CPI-W in quarter 3 to the average CPI-W in quarter 3 of the previous year, and then uses that rate of change to determine how much your benefit increases in the following year. The main thing to remember is the calculation for Social Security increases are looking backwards, which can be problematic, especially in a rising inflationary environment. So the question is, are you actually getting a decrease in 2024? Imagine you have a local fruit shop just down the street from work. They sell lots of fruits, and the town favorite are apples, but you love mangoes. Now let's say the government in your little town decides to print more money and puts it into circulation. And as a result, there's more money in the hands of people in the town. Now, initially, everything seems fine and you continue buying your favorite mangoes at the usual price. However, since there's, again, more money circulating in town, everyone has a bit more cash in their pockets. And the fruit shop owner, seeing that people have more money, decides to increase the price of fruits. But since mangoes are let's just say an exotic fruit, those prices go up more. Again, apples are the town favorite and they happen to be your boss's favorite. So your boss decides to increase everyone's pay so they can continue to buy apples, which means your pay has gone up too, but not at the same level that your favorite mangoes went up. On the surface, you might be happy because you got an increase, but for the thing you really want to buy, it just got more expensive and you didn't get an increase to fully cover. Now let's see how this works with Social Security benefits. The average Social Security benefit as of August 23 is $1,706 per month or $20,472 per year. In October of 23, Social Security announced that benefits will be increasing by 3.2% starting in January 24. That means the average person should see their benefits rise by roughly $55 per month next year. And this matches the 3.2% CPI rate most folks pay attention to. So no, you're not getting a decrease, but that's where the good news ends. Social Security benefits have lost 36% of their buying power since 2000. As you can imagine, things older people spend their money on aren't always the same as folks who are in, say, their 40s. And the things older people spend their money on have been increasing much more than the headline inflation numbers we see on the news. The Senior Citizens League has found that between January 2000 and February of 23, Social Security benefits increased by 78%, averaging 3.4% annually. But The cost of goods and services purchased by typical retirees rose by 141.4%, averaging about 6.2% annually over the same period. What that means is for every $100 a retired household spent on goods and services in 2000, that household can only buy about $64 worth today. So if your average annual benefits are $20,472 per year, that would be like your benefits decreasing every year by an average of $573 over the next 23 years. I'll link to the study in the show notes, but this is one of the most powerful charts in the study showing the top 10 fastest growing costs of older Americans since 2000. Now pay special attention to number 5 because I'll be addressing how to keep your Medicare premiums down shortly. By the way, if you'd like to grab your free retirement assessment, check out the link in the description down below. You simply provide a few basic data points, and then based upon your answers, I'll prepare a private video that will break down your report. I'll send you an email with the link to the video, so be sure to keep an eye out for it. I'll give you feedback on your retirement outlook and things people a few years ahead of you are thinking about so that you can be prepared, like is Social Security going to run out? Now you might be asking yourself, is this going to get worse? Well, we just saw the data that the purchasing power of benefits have been decreasing sharply since 2000, and inflation plays a big role in the purchasing power of Social Security benefits. And the longer higher inflation goes on, it might seriously harm future benefits. And here's why. Now, you've probably already heard that the Social Security Trust Fund is projected to run out of money by 2033, which means that Social Security benefits may decrease. Once the trust fund is fully depleted, it can only spend as much as it receives in incoming revenue. Now, again, when inflation is high, Social Security increases the amount it pays to recipients. And the longer inflation continues to be higher than Social Security initially projected it to be, the faster the trust fund is depleted. Now, I know this all sounds like doom and gloom, but Social Security does have some options to prolong benefits and avoid a doomsday scenario. So for example, like they could increase the full retirement age for younger Americans, thereby increasing the time people must wait to get the full benefit. They could also increase the amount of wages, Social Security taxes while folks are still working. Again, not great options, but options nonetheless. So is it possible this is going to get worse? Yeah, it certainly is. But I don't know about you, but I have a hard time imagining politicians will let one of the most important programs in America to go under, especially when some of the largest voting population are older Americans. Like most things, politicians usually wait to figure it out at the last possible second. Now, the good news is that just because your benefits aren't keeping up like they used to, that does not mean all hope is lost. Here are 3 things successful retirees are doing to combat declining purchasing power. If you have an investment account like an IRA, you should be seeing positive growth in your account so far this year. So for example, if we look at the Vanguard Total World Stock ETF, you can see it's up over 15% through November 20th. And the Vanguard Short-Term Bond ETF is up over 2.6%. Now, the point is, if you've experienced positive growth within your portfolio through wise investing, and you're finding that your benefits are not enough to keep up with inflation, you could look at taking supplemental income from your portfolio. Now, this is a great example of why being too conservative in retirement can be counterintuitive. Many people think that they should have most of their money in safer stuff like cash or bonds because they are in retirement. However, the risk of being too conservative is you don't give your money a chance to grow and beat inflation long term. So hopefully you can take out more down the road to offset things like a declining purchasing power of your Social Security benefits. Now, if you don't have an investment portfolio or your investments just didn't do too well this year, a simple yet not so fun exercise is simply to tighten up the belt and look for ways to reduce spending. But nearly everyone I know pays taxes. And you might recall earlier, I showed you a chart of the top 10 fastest growing costs of older Americans since 2000. Number 5 on that list were Medicare premiums, up nearly 262% since 2000. Now, there are all sorts of Medicare supplements, but for this video, we're going to keep it simple and look at Medicare Part B premiums. Now, as you'll see, there is a base level of Medicare premium, and then there are income-related monthly adjustments that can cause you to pay an even higher premium. So the best way to make sure your Social Security payments go further is to have less taken out for Medicare premiums by ensuring you're doing everything you can to not incur additional premium adjustments. Now, paying less Medicare premiums and keeping more money in your pocket can be simple, but you need to know what specific actions you can take to keep your taxable income down. We made another video on the 4 tax planning mistakes to avoid in retirement, which you can watch right here. Once again, this is Alex Okagawa, partner and financial advisor here at 1 Degree Advisors. And if you're interested in learning how we help our clients gain confidence in their retirement, visit our website at onedegreeadvisors.com.